Welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. Busy day today. Busy fucking day today. I would have done this yesterday, but I had to write a, text article about this, and that occupied more time than anticipated, so, yeah, didn't record this yesterday. Plus, I didn't finish the article until late in the day, so I had to wait until that had, done, so that way I could have all my picks ready. But busy day today, because we have this is a Nintendo Direct later, so we'll probably be covering that in an episode that I'll record on my way home from work. We have Academy Award nominations to talk about. So we're just going to go through all the categories, except for best short, best documentary short, and best animated short, because I have not seen any of the nominees at all. So I can't speak to which is going to win an Academy Award, because the issue becomes, it's just a shot in the dark at that point. All I'm doing is not even making an educated guess. It's just eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and it's not going to be based on having seen it or based on anything like that. It's just, well, I guess this one, I don't know, sure, why not? So rather than weigh in on those, I'm just not going to. So starting at the top and working our way down, Best Picture. I don't have a list of nominees in front of me, but I do know who my picks are for each. So for Best Picture, my pick is Belfast, which is, if you listen to my review of Belfast, probably surprising, because I didn't particularly care for it. It wasn't something that I, had a deep love for. There was nothing, about it that I really liked, but it is the white people version of Roma. It's black and white to signify that it's in the past. It's a coming-of-age story during a war-torn area, where there's political upheaval. There's a few fantastic acting performances in it, and I think that the movie is, fairly strong. But, is it the best picture this year? I don't think so, but I think it checks just enough boxes where it's an easy, where it's an easy, pick for me, that it's going to end up winning Best Picture. Of the list, I would say, if it were me and I were voting, I'd probably vote for Dune. Well, no, I don't think I could even say I would vote for Dune, only because of the fact that it's, it feels incomplete, and I think that for other, movies, I think that's that hurts it, is the fact that it is part one of a two-part movie, and this one doesn't exactly feel self-contained in so much as it is very obviously ending. Even if it didn't have Dune Part 1 in the title, it's ending at a point where every other movie would be just getting started. That would be something around, the midway point, or even in the first third of the movie. His fight to gain the trust of the Fremen. That would, looking at the pacing of, one of the things it's based on, Hamlet, I almost said Hamilton, that makes sense. So, I think the Belfast is going to take home the gold on this. Best Director, I think, is going to go to Jane Campion, who directed The Power of the Dog. I'm going to stand by that because that movie is beautifully shot. Everything about it is well done. It's interesting to watch from a visual aspect. Every actor does a great job, and I think that that's the ultimate case as to why this movie should get nominated for Best Director, is that every lead and supporting actor in this movie got nominated for an Academy Award. Benedict Cumberbatch got nominated for Best Lead. Jesse Plemons and Cody Smith-McPhee both got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and Kristen Dunst got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Everyone in the movie who was in a lead role got a nomination, and that's huge. And I think that's going to be the thing that's going to tip it over, where she's going to get Best Director. And she's the first woman to get nominated Best Director twice. That's never happened before, and kind of surprising. Best Lead Actor, I'm gonna, swap from the popular opinion here. I don't think it's going to be Andrew. I don't think it's going to be Will Smith. I think it's going to be Andrew Garfield. Because here's the thing about the two movies. Like, Will Smith does a great job in this. And I think it's too, I've liked Will Smith in non-action movies and non-big blockbuster movies. Like, I did really like Concussion. Even if he did have that really dumb accent, I did really like that movie. He was pretty good in it. I think that, he, did well enough in King Richard. But I think my fundamental problem with King Richard comes from the fact that it's a movie about two of the most famous female athletes of all time. Venus and Serena Williams. And the movie is not about them, it's about their dad. And I think that's a hang-up that I can't get over, to say he's going to win Best Actor. It's weird, but I feel like that's why I think that. I think Andrew Garfield, because that performance stands out to this day. Where I look at, that performance where he's playing the quarter-life crisis as he approaches his 30th birthday, and all of that. It very well done, and if it weren't for him being able to carry that performance, the movie doesn't work. And the way he plays it is really good, almost as if he, the character knows that he has very little time left, Jonathan Larson, because as we know at the end, he died before Rent even came out, and he never got to see it, on Broadway. He died of an aneurysm at 35. So this idea that, he is so obsessed with, trying to make his mark before he turns 30, like Stephen Sondheim did and all of these other luminaries in the field did, really speaks to that in a big way. Best Leading Actress. This will be no surprise for anyone. I picked Kristen Stewart. I think I Babe Ruth this back when I saw Spencer initially. I said that she was going to be the nominee for Best Leading Actress. I said she was going to win. Then after I saw House of Gucci, I said it's going to come down to Lady Gaga and her. And I think that now that Lady Gaga's not in the race, she didn't get nominated. I think that basically opens the doors for her to win a Best Leading Actress Academy Award. Her performance as Diana is great, even if it is a psychological thriller take on Diana, which, some might say is a little messed up, but, the fact that they did, that kind of take on it, it's just a really interesting movie to watch. You can get it on DVD if you haven't seen it yet, but it is very worth, very worth watching, and very well done. Now, Best Supporting Actor, this was another rough one, because I liked both Jesse Plemons and Cody Smith-McPhee in Power of the Dog. Issue is, when you have two people nominated from the same movie, they tend to dilute the voting pool for each other. Namely that if I have two Best Supporting Actors from the same movie, neither of them will get the nomination because people will split the vote on the two. And we have more of that later on, where, the votes are going to get split among multiple places, and it's going to result in no awards being given for a movie, unfortunately. So, what we have here is, because... Do you want to let me over, motherfucker? So, because this is, what's happening here, and we have this we have both of them nominated for Best Supporting Actor in the same movie. They're not going to win. I think it's going to go to Ciarán Hinds. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Who played Pop on, Who played Pop on, what was that movie? Belfast. I think he's going to end up taking home the Academy Award for this. I'm not going to say that the movie is made or broken based on his performance, in the same way that, Kristen Dunst carries the performance of, in her movie, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But he does do a great job of playing this character who has such gravitas to the life of Buddy, that and being the almost I don't want to say the Jiminy Cricket, but the spiritual guide for young Buddy, and he does it very well. I think that's going to take home Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress, I think I just gave it away. I think Kristen Dunst is going to win it, because Kristen Dunst she did a great job, and that movie is kind of made or broken on how well Kristen Dunst plays that role. Without her playing the drunk, the sentient alcoholic mother, and playing it well and believably, you don't get the rest of the movie where Peter will be able to go off and kind of get into this relationship with I forgot Benedict Cumberbatch's character's name, but Phil. But that doesn't happen without that role being what it is, and being what it is believably. What the fuck is going on here today? There's so many cars inside the road. So that's a big deal. Best adapted screenplay, I think, is going to be Coda. Because Coda is very well made, and it is a very interesting movie about the children, about a family that is all deaf except for one daughter, who's played by Emilia Jones. That daughter wants to go away to college, and the screenplay is kind of what makes or breaks the movie, for me at least, because the stakes feel real, the stakes feel, important, even though they are fairly low stakes, and, the family conflicts feel real. And that's partially the acting, and every actor in this movie does a great job. That was actually my big conflict for Best Supporting Actor, because I believe the guy from Coda, the dad, was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. But yeah, he was, because he was only the second deaf person ever to be nominated, and the first was Marlee Matlin, who was in the movie too. And I that was my only real issue there. But whoa, Jesus fucking Christ. No, I just watched someone cut across 2 lanes of traffic without a directional and almost get hit by 2 cars. So I think that's kind of a big, that for me, that was a big, debate. And I think that if we look at why this movie works, I think it comes down to the script. Similarly, best original screenplay is going to be Licorice Pizza, I think, because Licorice Pizza does kind of live or die by its script. And while I do have a few problems with the script, namely that there is no real reason why she has to be 25 and he's 15, there's no narrative reason why that has to happen. The rest of the things in the movie are kind of just a joy. The expression of young love, the period piece aspect of it, the Bradley Cooper in his thing, which was a surprise that he didn't get a nomination anywhere. Because he had a very good year between between that and Nightmare Alley. I'm surprised he didn't get a nomination somewhere. But it is a very solid pick, I think, because it's going to lead to a lot more, discussion about the movie. And maybe if it wins Best Screenplay, it'll point out this glaring kind of weird thing. I saw one reviewer put it, it's like, Paul Thomas Anderson made an entire movie to satisfy his babysitter fucking fetish, and it's like, okay, well, that's one way to put it. So what else is there? Best cinematography, I think I said Power of the Dog. Because again, that movie is great in the way it plays with scale, and it plays with, it can elicit emotion even from landscape shots and shots of inanimate objects, which is a pretty big deal. And that comes down to, Jesus Christ, that comes down to, cinematography. Best makeup and hairstyling, I say The Eyes of Tammy Faye. The other option for it that I would say is in close contention would be House of Gucci. But my problem with House of Gucci is that when we think of the makeup and hairstyling, invariably we're going to think of Jared Leto. And Jared Leto's performance was laughable in this movie. And I think that, it is borderline offensive too, because he's doing basically a very over-the-top, pizza making Italian guy accent, and it's kind of like, well, what the fuck? You couldn't do the minimum amount of research to see how a fucking Italian person actually sounds. And the other thing is too, it's like, if we really want to talk about it in regard to in regard to the accents in that movie, it all takes place with a bunch of Italian people living in Milan in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There is no reason why they're speaking English in the movie at all with an Italian accent, because they're all Italian and they're all living in Italy. I have family who lives in Italy, and they were born and raised in Italy, and they don't speak English when they're just hanging around talking about stuff. Best animated feature, I'm going to say Mitchell's vs. the Machines, because I think Flea is going to get diluted among Documentary International and between Documentary International and Animated, and it's going to end up winning none of them. Mitchell's vs. the Machines is the strongest movie, although if I'm being realistic, Encanto's probably going to win. Mitchell's vs. the Machines is the best movie of the bunch, though. What else was there? Best costuming. I think Cruella is going to walk away with best costuming. I don't think there was anything too inspired about the Dune costuming, and the way the still suits look and all of that. And even the way the humans dress before they go to Arrakis, there's nothing about that really screams, great costuming. That said, I do think that it will win. I think Cruella, it's got that 70s punk rock aesthetic that I love. And I remember saying I loved it when I saw the movie. And I think that that's going to carry it to that Academy Award. Best visual effects. This is an easy one, surprisingly, because it comes down to, for me at least, seeing a bunch of the movies, the only real debate I had was Dune or Free Guy. Because Free Guy was the closest, second place winner for me. It was the one where it's maybe Free Guy will win, but no, I think it's going to come down to, It's going to come down to Dune is going to win that. The only other one that could have come close, but it didn't even get nominated, was, what was that movie called? Eternals. Let me see what else. Best documentary feature is going to be Summer of Soul. I think, once again, Flea's going to get diluted. Flea is the best documentary feature, but again, it'll get diluted by the fact that everyone has three different, it being nominated in three different categories. And the only one I think that is close is Attica. What else was there? Best international feature is going to be Drive My Car. because it got nominated for Best Feature, and typically when that happens, regardless if it wins Best Feature or not, it ends up winning Best International Feature. See Parasite, Roma, Life is Beautiful, all these other things. What else is there? Production design. When I saw the nominees, this is a rough category for me because it's like I like all of them, so it's just a point of personal preference. At which point I went with Dune. I think Dune had the best out of all of them. Best editing, I'm going to go with what's it called? What was the movie called? See, that was the thing. It's like, for me personally, I really like I like cross-cutting. Cross-cutting doesn't bother me. I know it does bother some people. I know it bothers people a lot. But for me, cross-cutting is not an issue. So I didn't have a problem with Don't Look Up, and I probably would have given it Don't Look Up because of the cross-cutting. That said, it's probably not going to win because I know I am alone in liking the or not alone, but I know the cross-cutting is pretty divisive. So I am not going to say that. Best editing is going to be Tick, Tick, Boom. I'm going to say that entirely because look at how the scene for the musical number Therapy is cut together, and that's going to be my entire case. Best sound, Dune, shouldn't surprise anyone. Best original score, Dune, shouldn't surprise anyone. And best original song, I think it's going to be No Time to Die. I think Billie Eilish is going to beat out Beyonce. Because the other song up for contention is what's it called? Her song from King Richard, and I think No Time to Die is gonna win. So I think that's it. We'll be back later today because there is a Nintendo Direct today, if I remember correctly. And then after the Nintendo Direct, we have we'll do an episode about that, summing up all the big news out of that, if there is any. And then tonight I will be seeing Death on the Nile, and I'll have a review of that up after I see it. So, 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish, we'll have a Death on the Nile review. And then tomorrow morning is today Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. Book of Boba Fett finale's out today. Why is there nothing about it on not social media, but on comicbook.com? Did I not look at comicbook.com today? Maybe I didn't. Alright, so Book of Boba Fett finale's out today, so we'll watch that tonight and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So until then, have a great rest of your week.